Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm really excited for this episode. This is my Costa Farms tour. While I was in Miami recently, Costa Farms allowed me to come out to their facility, their headquarters, and they gave me a little tour. Now, Costa Farms is responsible for the trending tropicals collection that you see at the Lowe's and Home Depot and a lot of the big box stores, Walmart, just to name a few examples of places where they sell. And it's been really exciting over the past couple of years seeing all of the cool stuff that they've been coming out with. A lot of them have been unexpected, uncommon, hard to find plants, and being able to get them for, a reasonable price through the Trending Tropicals collection has been amazing. So I'm a big fan of theirs, and I know a lot of us are. So it was really awesome to be able to take a tour and for them to just share a little bit about what's going on, what to expect. Now, this is going to be a two-part episode because they did share some plants with me that I'm not allowed to talk about until they give me permission. So like I said, this is a two-part episode. I'll be releasing the second part later in the year. But for now, there's exciting stuff in this episode too that I was surprised they're letting me share, and I'm definitely honored that they, took the time to show me around and share some exciting stuff with me, and that they'll let me share it with all of you. It's pretty cool. They're an awesome company. So big thank you to them for letting me come out so I could film this episode for you guys. It was awesome. I hope to go back if they'll have me. And if you are new to my channel, clearly I am a crazy plant person, so if that brings a smile to your face, you may want to subscribe. That way my episodes will show up in your newsfeed. I am also on Instagram, and we're about to have an awesome plant giveaway on there, so if you want to be part of that, give me a follow on Instagram. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode of my tour of Costa Farms. This is amazing.
So basically you're in one location out of multiple locations of the whole operation. If we tried to see the whole nursery, it would really take us probably quite a lot of time, 2 or 3 days. This is actually our elite stock that we use to produce the finished plants with. These don't get sold. At some point maybe they will.
So these are all mother plants?
Mother plants, exactly. Stock plants or mother plants on this side.
So do you go out and find the plants?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, I am the one. I've traveled almost 5 million miles in whatever the heck this is, 40 years, 35, 40 years. So it's been exciting. I travel the world literally, and people say, where do you go? Just in any particular place? No, I mean, it could be a garden center, it could be a little breeder, it could be a backyard grower, it could be climb a mountain in the Philippines for a day. It could be all over the place. It could be a trade show. Luckily, over all those years, I've made friendships with a lot of people around the world. But it's fun. It's interesting.
Everyone was asking about what's up and coming with Trending Tropicals.
Yeah, when are they going to get a Thai Constellation?
Supposedly summer 2022.
Yeah, now it's been moved.
Okay.
It's a moving target because, again, it's about having enough for North America, and we want to minimize situations where people are reselling like crazy, and the whole point of making them available is it's like the PS5s or the graphics cards. You don't want people auctioning them off and then making a profit, and that just upsets everyone. So you need enough to hit the market hard.
Yeah, and the production of it is extremely difficult, to say the least. Reality is the quantity, as Marco says, the quantity that we need on a plant like that, that's a large leaf plant that takes so long to reproduce. It's ridiculous, the amount of space that we need. Nobody can even fathom it, but it might be 100 acres. It's that much stock that we need of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Am I going to get to see those today?
You will get to see some today, yes.
Okay,
yes, yeah, on
that's
purpose.
exciting.
Yeah, you will get to see some.
And
You'll be able to photograph them too. So.
Ooh.
When you're talking about a 10-inch, that's so much more space than it needs.
Yeah.
Is that what the Thai Constellations are?
Yeah, 10-inch.
Those are the 10-inch ones?
In a 6-inch pot, the leaf is so big, you'd end up with not having the fenestration, which is the holes, the cutouts, and the leaves. Or it would be so big it would fall over. It'd be top heavy, so it'd be hard to sell it that way. You'll see today, it's a 10-inch plant, or bigger. So we do have them bigger. We actually have them all the way to 17-inch pots that are about this tall. And he's got a picture to prove it, of me standing in them, where you can barely see my head over the top of them.
Oh my goodness. They are so beautiful.
But it is one of those harder plants to build quantity of because of the size of the plants. So you see a lot of open area here. It's because coming out of spring, we've had such amazing sales, which is normal in spring for indoor plants, well, fall plants. but it's been even exaggerated during this horrible time we've had with the pandemic. So people have been more stuck inside and enjoyed indoor plants.
So how big is this campus? I don't know what, for lack of a better word.
The entire nursery? You mean the entire operation, all the operations, 4.5, almost 5,000 acres.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, across
All the locations.
all locations, I think we're at 5,600 or more.
Yeah, somewhere in that area. Some of that's hard to define because it's in the ground stock, but call it 5,000 acres, and that's in multiple states and even also Dominican Republic, where our stock farm is.
Okay.
Here again, you know this plant, I'm sure pretty well, moonlight. Until you hear the name of a plant, unless you're a Latin expert, you don't know how it's pronounced. I mean, it's like Calathea. Is it Calathea or is it Calathea?
Yeah. That makes me feel better because
Yeah.
I get such a hard time for mispronouncing. So here's some Monstera Peru.
Yep.
Everyone loves these.
Yeah. Yep. It's
Look at them all.
and a lot of people ask the question about this coloration, but this is normal for this plant. You know, again, the way this, again, I guess you call it reverse on the venation, you know, where the yellow is in between the green veins, but that is normal. We've had people ask us about it. You can get that a little greener, but it's actually the cool part of that plant. And this is probably, yeah, this is, again, new leaf comes out like this, and then it'll age to green. These are new plants, but that's a neat part of the plant. And again, it looks like a potho, but in fact it is a Monstera, so. It kind of grows like pothos, but it's a Monstera. And again, this is also just plants to make more plants, mother plants, stock plants.
Yeah. All the mother plants. So how do you decide which plants, like you're saying?
Oh, what varieties that we introduce?
Yes.
Oh, it's not that hard to understand. We basically, I find a plant after so many years, I kind of have an idea of the plant. This is all indoor, even though I do deal with the patio stuff, but mostly indoor. And when I explain it this way, is I touch it, I feel it, I look at it. I can kind of tell, but even though I've been dead wrong before by doing that too, but we bring it back. I bring it back, and we first see while we're trying to establish we can reproduce it. That's the Thai Constellation issue, where we're reproducing it, and we have no problem reproducing it, but we're finding out that it's taking longer than we thought. So we try to figure out, can we reproduce it? And what's the timing of reproducing it? Because again, we need so many plants. While I'm doing that, I'm finishing some plants to a finished size, and then I'm testing those plants indoors to make sure those plants are indoors. And when I say indoors, we'll actually stick it in an air-conditioned or climatized closet for 2 weeks, 14 days, okay, and pull it out and see how it's done in that extreme test. Some plants come out and they don't look great. They look okay, but they're still okay over a month later. Some plants come out, and this is a good example, when it comes out and you just don't even know it was in there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that plays a big role in how we test a plant. Again, I don't think that's anything that anybody else wouldn't do to test a plant. Our whole goal is to introduce plants that the end consumer can be more successful with. You're right, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we don't need to introduce something that's going to die on them. Mm-hmm. We don't need to introduce them something they have to water every day. Or something that literally, if it doesn't get in an east or west window, it's not going to do good because it's just really desperate for super high light. And again, these are good examples of plants that are incredible at holding, under moderate, medium light, even to low light. We don't ever recommend low light because there's going to be some light compensation factor for them to thrive under low light. So you'd better to say medium to high, because that's where a plant really is going to thrive, not go backwards. So at least stay neutral and grow at least slowly. So we're also taking a bet on what we think will do good. The consumer will buy, that they like visually, and of course will hold up so that they're successful with it. And this is one that we didn't. It's way better than we ever imagined. So I don't know that we were prepared for it. For the demand that existed. And you can see how we started. Again, this is no secret. We take one leaf and eye. It's pretty much how all Scindopsis and pothos are done, and it sends up a shoot from that leaf and eye, from that node, and then it fills in, and that's how we grow it. Luckily, we could do that from a leaf and eye, otherwise it would take us a long, long time if it was just the tips. This is maybe 4 weeks later, 6 weeks later.
Wow.
Still got a long way to go. Mm-hmm. It's not a fast to finish plant because the leaf is so thick. It's another good thing that we look for. Again, it's something that's pretty obvious in plants. We're looking for a leaf that's slower growing, slower growing plants are able to handle lower light.
Look at all this.
And again, same thing with you can see the way we plant it. That's a leaf and eye too, which thought it was a tip. And these were just planted probably last week. Yeah, last week.
They look great.
Yeah, they have no roots yet. Of course, these are probably 4 weeks. They still got a long way to go, but people love this variety. Again, great indoors.
Very popular. Everyone loves
especially when that leaf, maybe down here, look how big the leaf gets. Yeah, that's really needs to be. It really needs to be a big leaf. And that's the hard part of making this plant. Actually, is getting big leaves.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It takes certain nutritional factors to get it with a big leaf.
Yeah. I have to say, all the choices that you have made for the trendy tropicals have been amazing. Like everyone's been so excited about it.
Because that's the ones you saw. you haven't seen the ones that I dumped in the dumpster before anybody saw. Oh no, that's the way it is in any business. You know, of course, peperomia watermelon.
This one's very popular as well.
And again, as long as it has that big leaf, and you can see we're getting that big leaf. You'll see this plant out there with a really small leaf because they're using small cuttings, which is okay. But it doesn't have the same effect as a big leaf.
No.
And
it was shocking to see the big leaf ones come out at the big box shops.
Yeah.
It was exciting because, like you said, you just don't see them that often.
And even look how big this leaf is here. This is even better. Look at that. Probably here some good ones to shoot.
Wow.
This is great indoors too. It's incredible. Xanthosoma.
Yeah,
which again does have the name on it for all your loyal listeners. Also caladium, but it's really known historically as a Xanthosoma, not as caladium. So we officially right now still call it Xanthosoma, but I think we put even the word caladium in there somewhere.
It's possible.
Yeah, but it just doesn't have any of the habit at all. I mean, it's not a bulb.
It doesn't look like caladium to me. And when I've seen it
Xanthosoma. Xanthosoma. But it's a great indoor plant. Of course, the coloration is like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I've seen these sometimes when I've gone to some of the more uncommon, the nurseries that carry uncommon plants. I've seen these.
Yeah,
so this is
great. And by next year it'll be in all the stores. Right now it's actually in stores once in a while, but
and we have it on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website. As long as you water it, I don't know how you could kill it. Medium light has no issue. Of course, it'll get a little stretchy, but it's a great plant. A lot of people ask me, what's so special about this plant? It's all about the white stripes. Mm-hmm. If it was green, it would just be another green plant, but that striping is very unique. And yes, again, because people have asked us, and I'm sure they've asked you, and it'll probably come up so I can talk about it. It came from red Congo. It's not 100% stable, as you can see there. So we try to take out as much of the red Congo we can, even though some people love to get this. People go crazy.
Us planty people, we love stuff like that and stuff like that. And I mean, red Congo is a great plant in itself, so can't go wrong, really.
So see, we have a lot of it. I mean, a lot, and we still don't have nowhere near enough to satisfy all the stores around in North America that we sell plants to.
So you still have seen the demand is pretty high?
Yes, here's a pretty cool one right here, actually. Yeah, it's different when you get that little stripe, right? That little patch of the red.
Yeah, that's
fighting its way out, fighting its way through.
Like you said, there's always something magical about each plant.
Every time I walk through here, I'm looking. There's another one that's pretty cool. Oh, this is even better. Yeah, this is good. That's very cool. Yeah.
Gorgeous. I just bought one of these.
It's a great plant. It really is. That actually is interesting. The story on that is my wife found that plant. And I say found it, we were together again, plant hunting. Mm-hmm. And I looked at it, but I walked by it. This is 4 or 5 years ago, I guess 5 years ago. I walked by it. To me, it didn't do anything. And she stopped me and said, come back and look at this plant. It's really cool. I said, I don't see it, but you know what? You've hit it a few times, so we'll try it out. She was right. I would have never picked that plant. Nope. Something about it just didn't work for me. That one happens to be better than almost all calathea as far as it's not a magnet to spider mite. It doesn't have that necrosis that occurs from city water. That's the big problem with calatheas. We tell people that You know, if you got to water a calathea, take a gallon of water, leave it sit overnight, even if you can 2 days, so that the chlorine that's in that water can, you know, volatilize, evaporate, and the water, or if you can afford it, buy a bottle of distilled water or just, you know, clean water.
Yeah.
They hate chlorinated water. The venation here is very neat. This is very nice, actually, this venation.
Beautiful.
That's a little too much, but this is perfect right here. So
I have one of these as well. Yeah. Look at them all.
Yep.
Really cool plant.
Yeah, you can't kill it. It has an interesting history. I found this plant in Asia, and then it's just a communication breakdown. I actually bought it, and then I understood that I couldn't import it, which I was wrong later, but from reading the regulations, I thought I couldn't import the plant. And then one day my wife, Sandra, called me and said, hey, you're not gonna believe it, but that plant that we couldn't import, I just found it in Miami, growing in a pot next to my mother's house. The next door neighbor had one plant of it. I said, no, there's no way. And it was. Her mother was able to ask the neighbor if we could have a branch of it, so we got a branch about this big. And from that branch, we've now producing, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of them. They put these on here just to keep them consistent, and it coming up the middle of the rubber band, but it doesn't need to be on that rubber band. It's completely attached.
It attaches itself?
Yeah, it actually took me almost 2 years to figure out the wood. It was harder to figure out the wood than it was the plant. Wow. Because we needed wood that didn't rot. We wanted wood that was thin and light.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted the wood to have a color, you know, that would kind of was maybe neutral, a darker color, so that the green stuck out. And that was a hard part for us because we were obviously not in the wood business. And now, you know, we need hundreds of thousands of pieces of wood. So you can see as it gets more mature, the leaves got more of the stripe. Another funky one right there.
So pretty. Are these ones for sale?
Yeah, what they're doing is they're moving them in here to dry them down a little bit from when it's raining, and then they'll hold them there and they'll pick out of those. So it's kind of a moving target.
Some Perus over there.
We mix our own soil media. The coconut that we use, the core that we use, comes from India, Sri Lanka, a bunch of countries.
Sure.
You know, dry package, and then you'll see we mix it there. So.
Okay.
So we hydrate it in those big, I guess you call them pools. We fill a pool full of water and then put those in there and they hydrate.
Oh, wow.
It hydrates much faster that way than trying to hydrate it just running water over the top of it. We do run water over the top of it so it doesn't dry down, but really the only way to get it really wet is to flood it. On these colored aglaonemas, it's actually true pigments that are inside the leaves. So it's not light induced. It's naturally part of the plant. So when you put it indoors, actually indoors it will actually increase the red, which is what's great about the whole innovation of the aglaonemas becoming about 10 years ago, starting to become colored. They all came originally from one species that was found in Indonesia in the wild, and then it was these were all bred. So this variety, Siam Aurora, was a bred variety. Some of them are mutations, but most of them are bred now by specialists that breed just aglaonemas in Asia. We love it because of the pink down the midrib. It's a really nice plant. And then this one here is golden fluorite. Again, we love it because the red is in the middle of that goldish yellow down the midrib. These are both bred plants. So they are stable. And you can see it all the way down where you'll see, you know, all of them have that red all the way down. And on this one, you'll see the pink. So these are two great varieties here. And we'll show you some more here in a minute. I don't know the history of it. Is it a mutation or not? I think it's actually a bred plant. But it's again how narrow the leaf is.
Yeah.
The variegation's interesting, but it's really all about it's the size of your finger. And that's very unusual in aglaonemas. I mean, I don't know if another aglaonema. There's actually a couple of longer leaf ones that are like that. They're the Rolls Royce of indoor plants. They're slower growing, which means they can handle lower light. They just can handle a lot of irregularities in indoor conditions. And that's the same one there, two-toner.
Look at all these beautiful Thai constellations, guys. Now this is what everyone has been asking about. And here are some beautiful ones to show you. They are massive, gorgeous, in great shape. I mean, look at these leaves. Oh, just lovely. This is so beautiful. Do you have anything that you want to say about these?
Again, we're building stock, we're getting ready, we're trying to get ahead so we can release this plant maybe in late 2022, probably 2023. Again, you know, we needed so many of them for this big giant country that we sell plants all over in the United States. So we're working our way there, but you can see this is, you know, part of our stock plants that we use to make more plants.
So these are stock plants?
Yeah, this is, for some of it would be vegetative. Some of these though are plants that we're using for, again, testing, like we just did a shipment for, there was a test.
Okay.
Test market.
Wow. They're awesome.
Even though it's a common thing, that's a pretty picture. Yeah. My fingernails clean? Yeah, they're clean. And let me jump in there and pull that out of there, because that's a weed. So. Put in the bloopers. You can't. Yeah. I've eaten a lot of green soup, and I mean fluorescent green soup. That guy cleaning the toilets has been following us, because I've been smelling it since we left. Literally. So I wanted you to know that. What is that weird smell?
So yeah, it was pretty incredible going to Costa Farms, and Mike and Marcos were amazing and so gracious to show me a tour of some of their greenhouses. And like Mike said in the beginning, they still have so many other gorgeous houseplants, but you know, our time was limited, so he showed me what he could with the time we were given, and it was amazing. I couldn't believe those Thai constellations, and those are just a few of their mother plants, a few of their stock plants. Like he said, they're like 100 acres of Monstera Thai Constellations coming out. There is going to be a second part to this episode, as I was only able to share certain plants. There's some really exciting stuff that they showed me coming out that I'm not able to share yet, but that will be coming, so keep an eye out for part 2 of this tour. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I would love to do more stuff like this, so if you did enjoy, make sure you subscribe and let me know what you think, and give me a follow on Instagram as well, so you can be part of the plant giveaway we have going on. Alright guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Lots of great stuff coming out, so you'll definitely be seeing me soon. Bye!